Good afternoon. This is Eric, the Rural Xer, here with you. I am just pulled off on the side of the road at what looks like an old steel bridge that is no longer used anymore, just across the South Carolina line, just over from the probably northeast corner of the state. It's outside of Toccoa. And this bridge behind me, we saw it as we were approaching this lake, this beautiful lake. I don't know what lake it is, but anyway, we are out here right now taking a look at it, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to come by here and take a look at the lake, or the bridge rather, and do some recording of it, since it's an old abandoned bridge. It is really interesting. I just saw this and thought this would be a great episode for the Rural Xer. So let's go and explore this together. All right, here we are approaching this old bridge here, this old steel bridge, and coming down here. This looks like this may have been the main bridge across this lake at one time. Don't really know. It was paved when we were over here. I'll show you the bridge when we get over here to it. It's off there in the distance. This is the one we approached at over here. Right there. You can see it across the water over there. That was the one we were approaching at, and we saw it off in the distance over here and wondered if there was a way that we could get down here to it, and which we did. We came on down and found a turnoff, and it said a fishing pier. So we turned off the road, the main road over there, and drove down here a little ways, and sure enough, right here at the end of the bridge was this. So I take it that they've turned this into like a fishing pier. They put up chain link across it on the sides and guardrails down there at the end, so you can't just fall off. But this looks like the main bridge across here at one time. Now there's a section completely gone down here, as you can see on down here. We'll walk on down here and take a look at it. Beautiful day today. It's warmed up quite a bit. It was down in the high 20s this morning when we got up over in Helen, and we've been out riding around and looking at some waterfalls, including Ruby Falls there in Unicoi State Park up above Helen this morning. And then we drove over to Cleveland, had lunch over there, and was heading down into South Carolina to see some more waterfalls and some other attractions, and happened to come up on this bridge and decided to film it. I thought it was very interesting down here. The end of the bridge is gone. This middle section is gone right here, and you can see over there at the other side. But very beautiful out through here. Old steel structure. Don't see bridges like this built much anymore, and you can tell by the rust that it's pretty old. It hasn't been really taken care of much, but it's very narrow too. Looks like it's barely big enough or wide enough that two cars could pass. It'd be very close too, I would say. So we'll walk back up here. Might get some footage on the other side as well. Today we are in beautiful Helen, Georgia. Just outside of Helen, Georgia, just south of the downtown district, at a little operating mill. Norma Mills. My wife is actually inside at this time right now doing a little shopping. And so I thought I would stay out here and film a little bit. So, and explore around. So come and join me if you will. Here we are inside, looking around at some of the things on the shelf and all. This is the inside of Norma Mills, or Norma Mill, I should say. Here's the millstones that they use to grind the corn with. Of course, they're not running it at this moment, but that's the millstones that they use, just like they used to use years and years ago. And over here is the I don't know what it is, elevator, grain elevator, I guess, where they bring grain up from below. Maybe they store grain down in the cellar or basement of the place and then bring it up here. Very interesting. Over here in this section they have all kinds of jams, jellies, and preserves that they I guess probably make locally and sell here. Big selection. And they also have a lot of cookware over here along this corner. I think it's enamel type cookware. Very nice looking, very antique-ish looking, but they are new. And over here they have cast iron cookware, all lodge, and very good quality lodges are very well known for their high quality cast iron cookware. We have a few pieces of it, but they are very expensive. And on this wall is yet even more jams and jellies. All the way down. Over here you've got all kinds of types of grits. This over here, according to the sign, is speckled grits. And over here we've got all your cornmeal mixes, all different types. Fine yellow. Here, coarse yellow cornmeal. And buttermilk mix. All kinds of cornmeal mixes they've got down through here. So this is like an old-time country store with all your different types of meals that they can do with corn and wheat. Here's where they reroute the water at. It drops off right there, and it looks like they could have dammed it up and then rerouted it to a channel over here that's just under this walkway where I'm standing at right now. I'll swing around here and get the right over here. Running underneath it, I think is where they used to reroute the water at. And it run some gears down here that actually turn the mill itself. Well, here we are at the top of Neal Gap, and this is what's really funny story. I always called it Neal's Gap with an S, but in actuality, this is named Neal Gap, N-E-E-L, Neal Gap. And this is the visitor center for the Appalachian Trail. It crosses the road that's right behind me, which is State Route 129, that goes over Neal Gap. And I'll swing around here and give you a view of the trail where it crosses and starts up Blood Mountain. There's the crossing right there. I'll zoom in on it. Goes right across there, and going right up there, right up that hill is the start of the Blood Mountain Trail section of the Appalachian Trail, and come to find out, that is the highest point of the Appalachian Trail in Georgia. And I have been up there several times in years past. My dad was the RA leader in our church for a number of years, and in my early years, he took the boys and me up to top of Blood Mountain, and I've been up that trail several times over the years. It's been a long time since I've been up there, but I had been up that trail, and it's beautiful up there on top. You get up there on top, and you can see Vogel State Park and Lake Winfield Scott from up there. Very beautiful. Right outside the visitor center main entrance, I found this. This is a tree full of shoes and boots, hiking boots and all. I take it that all of these are from people who's walked the Appalachian Trail, or at least this section of it, to commemorate their hiking the Appalachian Trail. They take their shoes off and throw them up here. And as you can see, there's quite a few shoes up in this tree. Very interesting. The next couple of shots are of the front and back side of a plaque just outside of the visitor center at the top of Neal Gap that gives the history of the AT and the events that helped shape this world-famous trail from both the state and national levels from its inception to today. It gives quite a bit of history that's very interesting, so feel free to stop the video at any time to give the plaque a more thorough read. You're now viewing a map of the Appalachian Trail from south to north, showing the 14 states it crosses from the southern terminus of Springer Mountain in Georgia to the northern terminus at Caddoudon, Maine. We are now at Vogel State Park and looking at the visitor center over here. And we just came down off of Neal Gap, which is right where the Appalachian Trail, the southern end of the Appalachian Trail, crosses Georgia Route 129. And it's not but just a few miles down here to Vogel State Park. And this is the visitor center again that we're looking at. I'll swing around here and show the lake. You can see all the camper vans and vehicles. This is on a Saturday. Still very cool today, very beautiful day. But as you can see beyond those trees over there is the lake. Now I don't know exactly what the name of this lake is. This is not Lake Winfield Scott. It's on the backside of this mountain to our left right now, back over there. There is a way to get over there to it, but and we might be going over there and taking a look at it. But right now we're just over here looking around at Vogel State Park. Now we're over here at Lake Winfield Scott on the back side of the mountain, and this is where we come down to before. When we've hiked over Blood Mountain, we would come down the back side of Blood Mountain and end up down here at Lake Winfield Scott. And this is on the back side of Vogel State Park. So this is overlooking the lake right here. Looking out here over the lake, very serene, except for the car behind me that just cranked up and fixing to leave. If I'm not badly mistaken, one of those mountains back over there may be Blood Mountain. It may be that one right there. That is Blood Mountain. But this is Lake Winfield Scott. Very pretty lake. Not a lot of activity over here. I think there is some campsites. You can see back over there on the far lake. It's a pavilion, it looks like. I apologize, but my lavalier mic started going out right here, unbeknownst to me. But what I was saying was, I think there were some campsites around this lake, and looking across right here, there looks to be a picnic pavilion over there on the far side of the lake. We do actually end up going over there and getting some more footage with my phone camera. We are now on the other side of Lake Winfield Scott at the pavilion that I was showing you in the last video. Now, as you probably saw, I'll probably have to dub over top of the audio. It started going out because the battery on my transmitter for my lavalier mic went out, and I couldn't figure out it. The little blue light on the receiver on the camera itself started blinking on and off every once in a while, and I knew that something was going on with it. So I finally just checked the transmitter on my belt, and it was, I turned it off, turned it back on, it turned red, and I knew the battery was going out. So I got to, when we go to town in Blairsville, I got to get some more batteries. But anyway, this is the pavilion over here that we were looking at from the other side of the lake, and here's the lake down here. I'm having to use my phone. Actually I could still use my big camera, but I decided just to go with my phone for now, for down here, get the footage for this. As you can see, it's a very beautiful spot. Nice picnic pavilion. Someone can have a family reunion or anything like that here. It looks like they even have almost like a church set up with benches facing towards the fireplace. Very nice over here. But swinging on around here, you'll see the lake over here, the swimming area, the beach. It's been so long since I've been over here. Me and Teresa was talking about earlier. The last time we was over here was way back with my parents when they were both still alive. Of course, since then, my mother has passed away, and my father passed away October of last year, 2021. So anyway, this is the beach. I didn't realize or didn't know if they actually had a swimming area, but they do. But I would bet that this beach, or this water, I should say, can't talk, water here in this lake is probably cold year-round, being way up here in the mountains. I have swum in some very cold mountain lakes before at 4-H camp way up in the mountains, up above Morganton, somewhere up there between Morganton and Dahlonega. There was a 4-H camp. Can't remember the name of it, but anyway, it was on a lake, and I remember getting in it, and it was like ice cold, and that was in the middle of the summer, like July or August. But anyway, this is the other side of the lake. Very beautiful, just almost mirror surface flat right now, going on around here. And yes, the wind is blowing. It is cold today. It's not down below freezing, but with the wind blowing, and it's still down in the high 30s, I think, at the time. being up here in the mountains, it's very cold, especially with that wind blowing.
This wraps up our trip to Helen, Georgia and the surrounding areas. I know we didn't get to film all the places we went and sights we saw, and even the ones we did film lacked a lot of content such as Vogel State Park, but rest assured we will get back out there and get more footage filmed for a truer look into these places in future episodes, so please stay tuned. Remember, we're still fairly new at this travel vlogging thing. With that said, I hope you did enjoy the content we did film, and if you did, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more similar content. And to be the first to know when I upload new content, click that bell icon at the top of the page to be notified. Also, please leave any comments, questions, or suggestions for future episodes in the comments section below, and I'll do my best to read all of them and respond accordingly. Keep up with us in our upcoming travel adventures, head on over to either our Facebook or Instagram pages, or both. I'll leave links to them below, as well as a link to our Patreon page in case you would like to make a small contribution toward our travel expenses. We would certainly appreciate any donations. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and we will see you in our next episode.